morning. I'm Peggy Hurson.
I'm Scott Clark.
And I'm Rick Entrop.
And we are coming to you from the coffee shop. We are at Tougo Coffee in Seattle today. I don't know what neighborhood this is. What neighborhood
Central
is this?
District or something?
It is the Central District.
Is it just off of Capitol Hill?
It is. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is Madison Valley or if because we're farther south. Because if you go north, it's
go
Madison
up Madison
Valley.
to get there, so.
It's true. It's probably Madison Valley.
Yeah.
Which is like if you go over the top of Capitol Hill, it's everything on the other side.
It's one of those places that's tucked into a neighborhood. It's really cool.
It is cool. And I chose this place because the pictures looked so cool. Because they have this really crazy wooden paneled ceiling. And online I was like, oh, that place looks great. And they had a picture of this big long table. And I was like, oh, cute.
Yeah,
So,
pictures on. Did you look it up online or Yelp?
I looked it up on Google. And then Google had like a panoramic view thing.
Yeah,
and
you can just drag down to a street view.
yeah, street view, totally. It had
Yeah.
all this different pictures and stuff. And so I was like, we're going to go there.
I'm still trusting Yelp. I did read the Yelp reviews and it's really good. I think it got
nice.
4.5 stars.
Right on.
And
Coffee
special
history.
thanks to Christos.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Christos? Did I say your name right?
Coffee guy.
Christos, our barista, the cashier and quiche server.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us record here.
Breakfast quiche.
Breakfast
it's good.
quiche.
Asparagus.
I'm having
Asparagus. So I'll
Get
let you know if
ready
my
for
pee stinks in
sticky
like 4
peas.
minutes.
and I'm having an apple pie that's like a high class Hostess pie. You know those
Sort of
Hostess?
like what you get from McDonald's.
Sorta, yeah. Only more delicious.
Dude, you know what?
And it has one almond on it, and I'm not sure why.
Oh, man.
But I'm gonna eat it.
That's
You
for
know.
it's for the person that has a
1%.
nut allergy.
1%'s the 1%.
It's an art piece.
Yeah.
I used to like the McDonald's apple pies, but then they stopped
heck
deep
yeah.
frying them.
Yeah.
Oh.
They just
And
nuke
there's-
the crap out of them.
I
Yeah,
haven't
they
had
put
one
them in a
in
hot box. Yeah,
forever.
they just come out dry. Just
Did they
Apple
microwave
Hot Pocket.
everything at McDonald's?
Everything.
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah.
That's actually why I like the thing that I like there, which is the little old school cheeseburgers. Just like plain old disc cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
They're so like
They're great for the drive. You
Yeah.
just pound them. It's just like
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
the minced onions on them are so good and like they're so soft.
They're slider type.
Yeah.
Roast,
I love
the
those.
double cheeseburgers do the same thing too.
Yeah.
I'm actually saving my stomach because me and my wife are going to go have her birthday meal we're doing a brunch at Salty's.
Nice.
I've never been to Salty's actually.
Me neither.
Your pocketbook probably thanks you for it. But I don't know. It's a seafood buffet, so we'll see at breakfast.
I know. I wonder, but
Or
you know,
brunch.
like there could be a lot of potential in a seafood brunch. I
Yeah.
mean, you could have like crab omelets.
Yeah.
You could have, I mean, even just
Or-
like seafood. I don't know.
Sure.
I think it's an all-day food.
Waffles.
Shrimp waffles,
Shrimp waffles.
lobster pancakes,
Clam cereal. There you
clam
go.
cereal. There you go.
Clam flavored flakes.
I was going for a clam cereal. I was like, "What's an absurd combination?" And I came up with lobster waffle or pancakes, and I was like, "Oh no, that sounds good
That actually
actually."
does sound good.
Like, no, I was trying to make that absurd, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I don't think you really can.
No.
Screw it up. Yeah.
Because
Fish
it's
sauce
so
flavored
good.
syrup.
There you go.
Oh,
Kinda-
yeah, that would be bad. No, wait, it's because it's got a
geez.
salty, savory.
Yeah.
It's
sauce.
true.
Well, breakfast
Those are
always
always-
has the sweet aspect, which seafood rarely does.
I know, it's true, unless you have like honey dipped scallops, which
Yeah.
I've had before that are crazy.
Has
Coconut
anybody had
shrimp is
caviar
really good,
before?
too.
Have you had caviar? Is that a breakfasty thing? I've never had caviar.
No, I have. It's
What is
real.
caviar?
It's like
I mean, what does it taste like?
salty, really salty.
Okay. So,
Almost like an anchovy, but with a totally different texture.
Yeah.
It's good.
It is good.
Yeah, a lot of people eat it when not even knowing about it. Like if you eat sushi, it's that orange stuff
yeah.
that's on. You don't eat sushi.
No,
It's
no,
yellow.
it doesn't eat sushi.
No.
Oh, I've tried it. I've tried it several times, and I've tried it at places people were like, "You got to try it." And
Not
It's
into
the
it?
roe,
That's
like
fair.
roe. Have you ever eaten roe? It's this egg
Yeah.
sack
Mhm.
of like fish and stuff. Sack.
Uh-huh.
Egg sack.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was going to have a birthday dinner today, but I am plague ridden.
Oh,
And so I
Peggy's-
canceled it. This is why my voice is so deep. On Thursday, the day I realized and admitted I was at work, and I was like, okay, I'm sick. And everyone was like, yeah, we know. And I was like, but I'm officially calling it.
No,
I went home and played on my piano, and I could hit the A below middle C, which is baritone range. I was like,
so no need to put a thermometer up Peggy anywhere. We can just play the
play
piano.
on the piano. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm sick. And then
what is it that makes the voice change like that? Is it
it's
just
slowing of the vocal cords? Yeah, mucus. Because your vocal cords vibrate, and the faster they vibrate, the higher a pitch you have.
Right.
And so if they can't vibrate because there's too much mucus, then it slows down, and then it goes deeper.
Are your vocal cords retarded then?
They are
to use that term
correctly.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
I believe they would be considered retarded.
Retarded.
Yeah, but I did make it through all 3 concerts this weekend through getting high on Dayquil and Robitussin and cough drops.
So you had performance enhancing drugs.
Oh, I totally had performance enhancing drugs, but I sucked it up. And actually, weirdly enough, singing, once we warmed up, like I wouldn't cough at all. Like I was like hacking backstage, and then I'd walk on stage and was just like totally fine. It was really weird. It's actually laughing. Like every time I laugh, I start coughing.
How is your body feeling tiredness wise? Are you feeling that? Can you know when you get sick, it's like your resources are going to that, so you can't really, your body's kind of run down a little
That has
more.
been better than it usually is when I'm sick. But I feel like that's sheer will.
Yeah.
Because now this morning getting up for this was like, I have to do this. And then sitting, waiting for you guys, I texted everybody in my life and canceled all obligations for the next 2 days. Because I'm going to sack out and I'm going to drink peppermint tea and watch horror movies. And
Peg hits the pause button.
That actually sounds really delightful.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I've been doing these really hot baths with like my fan off and my bathroom door closed, and I just turned my bathroom into a steam room. And that feels great.
Oh yeah, sweating it out, especially if you're not exerting yourself.
Totally. It's really nice.
I used to love, when I went to the gym, I'd sit in the sauna when I was sick and just sit in like a 180-degree room.
Totally. And then you cough for a minute and just get everything out, and then you just feel great. Yeah, that's my strategy. No privates this weekend.
Okay.
I already texted my boxing coach.
Unless it's a little bit more time in the steam room.
No, which I'm actually a little bummed about because last week I was killing it at boxing.
Yeah.
Like really killing it. Like
right on. Like your body's kind of amped up and you can feel the energy going.
Yeah, and I think it's because I got a massage last weekend before my first private. I went to a massage therapist. I actually called my doctor and had them prescribe massage because my calves have been like crazy tight, and
you do that?
You can.
Nice.
I have like premium insurance though. One of the benefits of my very low-paying job.
Premium insurance.
Totally. You should. Because I was having pains in my legs and stuff, and I went to this totally nutty massage lady who's actually right around the corner from here. And like she just like worked it out on my legs, and so I'm actually gonna go back like almost every week for a little while the prescription lasts, because it was so helpful. And then the next boxing lesson, I was killing it.
Awesome.
Because my muscles were,
they're all elastic.
Do you get that for your work? The insurance?
Yes, I do. It's one of the
Rick and I probably share the same insurance.
Could be.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
We're the same local. I'm assuming we're the same insurance.
Probably,
That's true. Yeah, that's one of the...
We're brethren. We didn't even know it.
You are. One of the things at my job that they pay you like this much over minimum wage is tons of time off, and they get the best insurance, and they pay 100% of your premium, which when I was like, oh, that's a really good deal.
Nice.
So
totally.
they try to make
UPS
up for
does
it.
Too. I think with the new plan they're bringing in, there's a lower ceiling, there's more caps on it.
Yeah.
But you still going out of pocket.
Right on.
But, I forget what I was going to say.
You got prescribed? I did. I got prescribed massage, and that way it's... I mean, you have to... If you have a deductible, you have to pay your deductible. But I've already met my deductible for this year.
I think we can our insurance. I think we can.
Or sometimes you have a co-pay.
Weird to say, Rick and I, our insurance. We're a gay couple. So on the insurance we have, that we can get chiropractic. Up to 15 visits a year, and I think that involves massage therapy.
Usually, if you can get chiropractic, you can get massage.
And we could see a brain shrink.
Huh.
Yeah,
Nice.
Reiki is
Oh,
psychiatric.
Include
Yeah.
spas, too.
That might be on my list of things to take care of.
Nice. Yeah,
Psychiatric.
my therapist is
Yeah.
covered too. I love her. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
Oh,
therapy,
yeah.
psychotherapy.
I'm
Right.
obsessed with my therapist. She's like my hero.
Oh,
She's
cool.
the exact opposite of me.
Huh.
And she's like this older, like slim, stylish, I think she's probably gay, woman who like sips tea and has her dog in there and like asks me if I think that my client's psychosis is due to cycles of the moon. And like every time she says stuff like that, I'm like, I cannot believe I come to see you. But she's so nurturing and warm, and like I like.
You feel better going.
Oh my gosh,
after you
she's the best I've ever
it's
had.
a mental massage.
Yes,
Nice.
and it's so funny
is she
to me.
into Reiki? I wonder if they cover
Oh,
Reiki.
I'm sure. She is
I did a
so
Reiki
new
treatment.
agey.
Did you?
Yeah,
I passed out. She said I did a lot of jerky movements.
Weird.
Which is what my wife says that I do when I sleep too.
Oh, nice. That makes sense.
I met a guy actually in Port Townsend who actually did Reiki music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Reiki music.
Reiki. That's the type of.
Oh no.
It's a.
You're saying a different Reiki than he's saying.
Well,
I don't know how they're spelled, but he's talking about REIKI.
Yeah, it's a
just
therapeutic.
energy
It's like you
healing.
get.
It's a music that goes alongside with it.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
right, but
there was
they
music.
put hands over certain. They don't even really touch you too much, or they might touch you. I don't know, but they put hands over you and they bring your body's electrical flow into alignment.
It's almost like when you put your finger above that. It's supposed to be
the third eye.
There's no
it
science
tickles.
behind it at all. But you know, like there's a lot of stuff that makes you feel better that has no reason to make you feel
If you
better.
believe it works, it's gonna work. It's that.
Right.
It's
It's your brain has control
Yeah.
over things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I would play that card a lot at GNC. It was
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
funny. Whenever, because you can't lose any argument if you can say that.
right,
So,
exactly.
it's like,
Well, that's what my friend Rachel was, she went to an acupuncturist for allergies, and she was trying to pitch it to me. And I was like, Rachel, if you know it's a placebo, it doesn't work.
Right.
She was like, Peggy. I was like, I don't want to be
that's
mean,
the
but
whole
I
part
know
of it,
it's a
These
placebo.
sugar pills. Oh my goodness! I take
know.
them and I'm like
But,
Superman.
and then like 4 months later, she was like, "Yeah, it's not working for me either." And I was like, "Well,
Because you broke her bubble.
I did."
You're like, if you know it's not gonna work.
But I do. I am open to
like homeopathy. It's total.
total. And do you know that they sell homeopathy stuff at pharmacies now?
Oh, at pharmacies?
Oh, it makes
Wow.
What is
and
it?
it's expensive.
What is it?
Homeopathy?
It is
Yeah, what is it?
a total pseudoscience.
It introduces your body to a similar characteristic of whatever it is you're trying to overcome, and it thinks that your body's supposed to say, "Oh, it's close enough, so I'll react. Like my nose will get clear, or I'll be not sick, or whatever the reason
And
was
what
for
they
taking
literally
it.
do is take like, okay, so if you have pneumonia,
Right.
or wait, I don't know if it's really the sickness itself.
Huh.
I don't know,
Sometimes.
but they dilute it to like a 0.0000001 dilution. So they like dilute it down to where it's basically just water. And then you eardrop it onto your tongue. It's total
It's
placebo.
acid. It's blotter acid.
There you go. Yeah.
I've watched so many videos of the nonsense of homeopathy.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really funny ones that anyway, they just make fun of it.
Have you watched
it's funny to make
anything
fun
about the Gerson diet, the cancer diet stuff?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
I've watched the documentary you showed me,
Uh-huh.
and if you look up his research, he's treated thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and his success rate is statistically insignificant.
Okay.
It's
so
if 200,000 people have cancer, 10 or 12 of them are just going to get better for no explainable reason. And his instant rates of success, because his documentary is super convincing.
Yeah, I watched it. It was like, wow,
I know.
why isn't everybody moving to Mexico that has cancer?
Exactly.
And, just,
and
do
the
that?
reason is the vast majority of them don't get better.
Okay.
But he presents it, and like there's a lot
I
of...
thought they presented it where the ratio was like 25%.
He can't
success
show
or something
documentation of any of that, which leads... Like, there's a whole website on Johns Hopkins that's responding to it, and it's like, he cannot show any records that confirm any of his claims, which leads us to believe that they're false claims.
Right.
And, if you want to go try it, great. But really,
Well, beyond that video, I really hadn't done any sort of research. Or
So pretty much
Well,
the people that
usually
got
do.
better they were going to get better anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's unexplainable.
Right.
Some people's bodies, like, you can have full-on crazy cancer that you are... I mean, if you are 95% likely to die, there's a 5% of people who have that
if you roll a die
don't.
100, you're going to get a 95 or better on one roll.
I kind of think that when it comes to... I think my personal opinion on cancer is, like, people who survive... They have that will to live anyway. They pretty much they don't not ready to die yet.
Well, again, we're back to the mind over matter.
I don't like to say that though, because I think that I don't know if the people who die have a will to live. That they
kind of. I mean, you can kind of see the people. Like I've met people that had got cancer, and I just their attitude towards it was like they're dead.
Yeah.
They were dead already.
I'm so uncomfortable blaming people's attitude for their sicknesses, though, that it makes me really, because I don't think that's putting a blame on them that they don't deserve. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it feels good to say that because then you feel like you have control over a sickness. Right. But I don't know if the will thing is because maybe they are a little more physically strong, and so they have the energy to have will. Do you know what I mean by that?
You can't really look at things from their
know.
perspective completely anyway. It's all 100% what they're telling you.
Right.
So how much of that is really even...
Yeah. And I know a woman who was diagnosed with like stage 4 terminal cancer that was metastasized throughout her body.
Right.
Who was like, cool, well, I'm going to die, so I'm quitting my job and becoming a clown. And, you know, and then she lived for 20 years. And she blamed her success on becoming a clown. But I was like, well, who knows? Maybe it was.
True, yeah, when you get into the causation.
Laughter is the best medicine.
But she did not die from... Yeah, exactly. And I say it's better to do that anyway, but like, she didn't do any treatment at all.
The reality is you're going to die sometime anyway. Right. So, yes, ergo, do that.
Yeah.
You know, pretend like, seize the day kind of crap. So.
But in general, I am a person who goes and looks things up. And you would be amazed, like, did I tell you guys about how I've been, like, asking around about sports nutrition because I'm so, like, want to box and be good at it?
Yeah.
Did I tell you already about how every single person I talk to is like, you need to really think about inflammation and, like, the foods that you eat. And I even talked to a sports nutritionist who I wanted to come on the show, but now I don't because she's full of nonsense. But
it's religion. It's religion.
Oh, it's total religion.
Go ahead, sorry.
But she was talking about this whole, like, inflammation concept, which is like the hot thing in nutrition, where like the foods you eat make your body a certain level
alkaline
of acidic or alkaline.
Yeah.
Right.
Through a very simple Google search, I found an entire explanation from a very reputable medical industry that was saying like, here is why that makes no sense, and explained your digestive system and how your body maintains pH on its own, like regardless of what you eat, and like talked about the different pH systems. And I was like, how do people like
but
all
I did was
really
Google
even
quantify what one absorbs or doesn't absorb anyway, regardless. So how in one person versus even everybody.
Yeah.
So
totally
they don't know
true.
the absorption process, whether vitamins do this or that, or whether this supplement's going to do this or that.
Right.
You just got to do it, see what your body does. If your body hurts afterwards too much, maybe try something else.
But it's always linked to selling you a bunch of supplements.
For sure.
And so to me, it's like if there's no science showing me what it's going to do, then I'm like, I'm not buying your product. Then I'm going to go and eat normal food and.
But just through the FDA, they literally can't anyway. They can't say this is going to do this, this will do that. It's just studies have been shown and research is, they have to put it that way. So
well, and what the anti-inflammatory people end up doing is it makes you eat a diet that's low in simple sugars, high in vegetables, high in lean proteins, and I'm like, well, that's what your body needs anyway.
That's just, that's kind of a little bit of common sense.
But what you should do, what one should do, is not take everything in the book and eat every diet in the book. Do one little thing. See how that goes.
Totally.
It's like
test it on yourself.
The what about Bob baby steps. Just do one little thing. Yeah. Check out how it works. If you're going to do creatine, just do that. If you're going to do protein supplement, just do that. Yeah. But, because then otherwise you have no gauge. Yeah, you have no gauge. And realistically, you should be taking notes and doing like what Christopher does with his log.
Yeah, totally.
It's like just... so you can really kind of quantify sort of what's happening within your body too.
Totally, that's really true. I totally had a thought about that, and then it completely. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I have the thesis of our family, me and Rick's family.
Yeah.
It is based on the movie What About Bob?
Oh,
Yeah?
Like,
nice.
What About Bob, I think, is... Have you seen this movie?
A long time ago.
I have it on
to watch it.
VHS.
Nice. I had it on DVD, and then I lent it to a person I used to date, and I never got it back.
VHS.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to borrow my VHS copy?
I can
You
just
can borrow
sit
my
and
VCR too.
look at
Yeah,
the tape.
stretch marks the tape first and rewatch. Yeah.
No, but our family, we watched the movie What About Bob so many times. And that's the movie that if you ask anybody in our family, like if you bring up a What About Bob thing, everyone laughs because we all love it. And like it just says
That's the
something
movie.
about
It's
our
Richard
family.
Dreyfuss
And Bill Murray.
Okay, so
Totally.
sports, Peggy, is like an entertainment. It's just something where people can kind of, get on the same page with something and identify with something. So that's what sports is.
No, I totally get that.
It's not anything other than that, really.
Yeah, and I don't know why I can't connect with that, because here's the dichotomy. Oh, I'm sorry, my phone ringer is on. I will turn that off right now.
How rude.
I know, I'm super rude. I thought it was already off.
Epic.
You don't
fail.
even have a cool little song that tells us a little bit about your personality.
No.
Either. It's just a little beep beep.
I know. It's
How
because
boring.
I leave my ringer on and I feel like an asshole when I'm like sitting with a client and my ringer goes off. If it's not just like a little boop. But with sports, the dichotomy of me hating sports is that I love sports movies. Like some of my all-time
Like
favorite
Rudy
movies.
and all those.
Rudy is great. Any Given Sunday, Friday Night Lights, especially football. But even like my least favorite sport is baseball. But I love baseball movies.
Right.
A League of
Like-
Her Own is like possibly the greatest movie ever.
Yeah.
Because they're not really movies about the sport. It's more movies
But
about
some
the.
of them are like Friday Night Lights is so much football.
That's about the high school football. Yeah.
Yes.
With baseball,
I
like
love
Field
that.
of Dreams and like the lot, or what's the Sandlot?
Sandlot is great.
Yeah, but it's more that era of when baseball was it and
that's-
everybody was
and like
an
the
American.
Natural and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
those great
So it's
baseball
more of
movies.
a period piece almost.
But
It's not-
I've thought about this a lot, and what I like about sports movies, which is present in sports, but I don't know why I can't like connect to it. It's the brotherhood of the team, like the camaraderie of this group of people that they all have different personalities and they have to come together. It's the good guys versus bad guys, and like in those football movies where you have like the one team that and then all the other teams are the bad teams. And like it boils it down to this really simple like good versus evil quality.
Yeah.
And like even movies like Hoosiers where they spoiler alert 40 years later don't win.
Yeah.
Or like Rocky where he doesn't win originally.
Right.
Like even though you have disappointment, the story is so good that like it's such a simple like overcoming obstacles story.
Right.
And I know that's present in like watching sports season to season, but for some reason like I think it's because I can't connect with a team.
Because you don't get that backstory.
Well,
You're not. There's
I
not.
think
there's
what
not
you
a-
also
it's
see
there
is the
somewhere.
culturalism of, hey, we live next to Seattle. Seattle's the best team ever, right?
Totally.
And it's just by your simple association, our high school's the best because we're this. And, I mean, it's good when your high school is the best. I mean, like I went to Richland High in like 1988, 87, and they had like the best football team. It was pretty cool. 'cause
Totally.
They were kicking the crap out of everybody. But, so there's a difference between the excitement of the game versus the sort of the local milieu that you just don't want to buy into. You know what I mean? Maybe? I don't know.
Well, and I moved to Chicago the year that the Bears went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I will say that was really fun.
Uh-huh.
Like, you would be on a train station and it's like 20 below and snow is coming at you sideways, and then someone would walk up on the platform and go, Bears! And then everyone would cheer, and it was like so fun. And I watched none of the games, zero, not even the Super Bowl. But it was still fun.
I think maybe you need to go to
or like the
a
Blackhawks were
Seahawks
winning.
game.
It is different. When
I
you're
do
in the
love
stadium.
live football,
Well,
actually.
Yeah.
Live football is my exception that
Yeah.
I like watching because they're
Have
like
you been to the
super
stadium and
heroes.
watched a game and experienced
No.
the loudness and been a part of the?
No, but I think
It's
I
a
would really
concert.
like
It's
it.
a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. I went to one game. I went to one where they were playing the Giants. This was when they were on their Super Bowl run, and you could almost see when the guy made the field goal kick. It was like almost like the sound was preventing the ball from going over the field goal.
crazy.
It just dropped like about 20 yards short. And it was just like, but I mean, there's just something about being. It's almost like
infectious.
Comedy or a music concert or something. There's just some sort of thing that you tap into that it gets you excited. I mean,
totally. And I think I would like that because in high school I loved going to the football games and like even just like the actual game was cool because I think they're superheroes because they do stuff where like people are like leaping and flipping and smashing and like it's so exciting to me. But on TV, it's like
Oh yeah. Well, and that's just be like watching comedy live versus or watching a play live.
But my exception is the late 1990s Bulls, which I watched a lot of because of our brother Tom, who was like the most insane Michael Jordan fan.
Big time.
From like
you will
the
not
second
find a bigger Jordan fan.
No, like from the second Jordan played through when he retired, he was
on him out of college.
He was the one.
He was like
Jordan.
And Jordan's a big story. If you follow his story, he didn't win the first championship until he started playing as a team.
Yeah,
because it's not one person that's.
And that whole team, like that, to me, they had personalities because. Like Tom would talk about him all the time, and like I knew who Jordan was, I knew who Kukoc was, I knew who Scottie Pippen was, I knew who Phil Jackson was. Like I just named 4 sports people. That is the 4 sports people that I know. And Tony Kukoc is not that great of a player, but like I mean, great in terms of legacy.
I was the same way with the mid-90s Sonics.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was such a fan. I wanted to name our son after Dale Ellis. I wanted Ellis to be my son's name, and we argued about that for a while.
Yeah, so that was pretty.
That was
times when they left. Huh? I was pretty.
Yeah. Oh no! I was over it. I couldn't name a player off that team that left.
Oh yeah. Well, there's no loyalty in basketball, especially.
Yeah,
it's like a different team every year anyway.
Well, then that's the thing too. Is like to me, people assign like then I was a Bulls fan for this amount of time, but once those people I knew left, my fanness left, and I can't be the team. The regardless of who's on the team, I love this team. I don't have that.
It wasn't the same after the strike. I think after the strike, and they had a huge basketball strike back in the late 90s.
I remember that. Yeah.
And
Weird,
I just kind of like
I know things about sports.
So my take on sports, in order to make like teams stay together and have a team where you can follow a lot, is bring that team dynamic more of an important function to winning. So let's say if you play sports, you're guaranteed a baseline salary, and everybody has that exact same salary, where it's $50,000, $100,000, whatever. We'll make sure you're taken care of for that year.
Right.
But if you want to make the big money, you got to win. So if you win the Super Bowl, if you win the championship, then everybody gets the payout. You know, okay, I guess you can do commercials and you can do your side stuff, but if you want money from the organization, win the championship.
That would be cool.
But that also needs to translate back, like reflect into the fans too, because with that salary, we pay for that salary when you go. That's why
when you buy shirts and you buy the.
When you go to the stadium to buy a ticket, it's like at least $50 a seat.
Right.
You know, and then but if they're
sure, but I mean, I'm saying give more incentive for people to win, and if you know that you can only win as if you have like the dream team, then you're going to see a lot more dream teams out there.
And that'll bring in the fan base.
Yeah, for sure. Get better. But the whole premise was to keep let's keep a group of guys together because they're going to. I
would like that. I mean, clearly sports has no problem in creating fans because it's like the most crazy
last
thing,
year I was a huge Memphis Grizzlies fan. You know, and I never
Memphis,
liked them before,
what sport
but I
do
liked,
they play?
Oh, the NBA.
Oh, okay.
I like their mix of guys. You know, when the Mavericks won, I loved the Mavericks all season. It's like
I don't
know
who the Mavericks are either.
They weren't originally in Memphis, though. They were from somewhere Montana.
Weird.
And then there's no loilty to the
Well, that's so weird. Like the franchises move. It makes no sense to me. Like that, it's like
it's a big business. And I think the teams win. The teams that win are the ones that make the most draw to that sport in that given area. So it's okay. So like the NBA knows if the Lakers win, they can make X amount of money. If Memphis Grizzlies win, they make this amount of money. So they're gonna do everything they can to make the biggest bang for the buck of who wins. You know?
It's true.
It's all about merchandising.
The Sonics are actually the only one of them. few teams that moved that didn't take the name with them.
Right. Yeah.
And that makes no sense.
Because like look
to
at
me
the
at
Jazz.
all.
Like why is Utah Jazz? It was originally the New Orleans Jazz.
Yep.
Is it?
So that makes
I
a
always
lot more
wondered
sense,
about
huh?
that.
Yeah,
I
all
was
those
like, Utah.
Utahians, boy, they just get in there
They
with their.
love their Jazz.
I know.
Yeah.
No, it should have been like
Yeah.
the Hornets.
The
Actually, the Hornets
Lakers.
should have went to. Well, that's not really a bumblebee. How can you be the NBA or the basketball team bumblebee?
The bumblebee.
I'm gonna sting you.
They're so
hives.
cute. Look at the little bumblebees.
So
Well,
sorry about
Nice.
the sports rant.
No, that's okay. I like. It's one of those things that I've tried.
Sure.
Like, I've
well, I'm not trying to
totally
convince
tried,
you at all.
no.
If you don't like
But
sports,
it's,
that's
I
you
want to
go.
get in on it, but do you know what my
100%.
dream is? I have a lot of dreams, obviously, but in Seattle they have a professional. And when I say professional, that just means, I mean, obviously, if you guys don't know about it, it's not like super professional, but
Yeah.
they get paid.
Right.
Okay. Hey, that's pro.
Women's tackle football
Football,
team. And
yeah.
it is not lingerie football. It is.
No.
They're called the Majestics.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
a friend
yeah.
of mine from work is on it, and she plays on their defensive line.
Oh, cool.
And I think that I would be.
Is it
a-
flag or full?
Oh, it's
No, it's
full
full
tackle.
contact.
Tackle, huh?
I
Pads,
think
helmets.
I would be a fantastic defensive
Yeah.
lineman.
Huh.
And so actually, I talked to my boxing coach
Do you wear
about.
pads and everything?
Yeah.
Huh.
I talked to my boxing coach about making it a goal to try out for the team, like maybe not next spring, but I think their tryouts are in the fall, and then their season starts in the spring. Of actually like trying out for the football team.
Nice.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Paige. Totally.
I've seen
Yeah.
YouTube videos on them playing.
Yeah,
nice.
it's really cool.
You'd make a great center. And I'm
Wouldn't
sure
I?
you'll hear that all up and down
Well,
the.
I played powder puff football in college and got kicked off
or
the team because I
defensive
hurt
line.
people.
Holy cow!
I
You
know.
coming at whoever? You could play both.
Totally.
both,
She's on the defensive line, and she calls them piano pushers. And she's
Huh.
like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to have a low
Oh,
center
yeah.
of gravity
Yeah.
and just push. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
Uh-huh.
me,
Totally.
dude. Try to knock me over. Like, I'm super
Yeah.
low to the ground. I'm super strong. And I think I could do it. So, anyway,
Yeah.
and boxing, it's footwork, it's strength, it's
Yeah.
balance, it's all
Yeah,
football
totally.
skills. And
So
so,
you're more
It's
of a
burst
fan of-
mode. It's burst mode. It's not like a runner or an endurance sort of thing. Like even soccer, I'd say play
Oh,
soccer.
man.
Sure.
Soccer would kill
you,
me.
If you have a lot
Yeah.
of burst energy that go,
Yeah.
go for 20 seconds as hard as you can, and then wait around for the next one to go.
Totally.
Sorry, Todd.
No, I was just saying she's more like a participant than a spectator.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
that means.
yeah.
I
That's
love
same-
playing sports.
Yeah, me too.
Totally.
And I get mean,
Yeah.
like I'm a trash talker.
Right on.
If I
know
can
what,
like
Peg?
kick
I think-
in the shins
I think we
offside.
should all arm wrestle.
I was
Oh.
Who would?
as long as we went left-handed, I'd be alright with that.
I did get
I'm
second
actually stronger
place
left-handed.
in a women's arm wrestling.
I know. That's why I'm kind of thinking. Let's see what Peg's got there.
You know, after the boxing stuff, I
Yeah.
feel like I would have a lot of
Oh,
good.
cool,
Because
right
we
on.
do all these weird like throwing,
Right.
Sure.
throwing weights
Uh-huh.
things that I
Right,
feel
right.
like would probably have. I haven't arm wrestled anything
But
since
you're,
I started
does he
boxing.
show? He probably shows a lot more how to use your body to the
Yes.
its most effective. So it's not like you're standing flat and then punching straight out.
No.
It's a whole
You're
fluid body
using-
motion.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a
all
golf
about
swing or hitting a
Yes.
bat with a ball or something. Where you're
Totally.
using your entire body to do it.
It's all about your lats and your obliques and
Yeah.
using your back muscles because my
Yeah.
back muscles are more. If I'm working out right, my back muscles are more sore than my arms
Yeah.
and my
totally.
hips.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot better at that.
Cool.
That's what they say. That you're throwing a punch rather than just actually punching.
Right.
Totally.
Well, and has he gone into different kinds of punches too? Because I'm sure that's.
Yeah.
I mean, you want your haymakers, you want
Uh-huh.
your knockout goes, but then you also have to have a solid sort of jab. Too.
Oh, totally.
So-
We have like a series of. There's probably like 20 different kinds of bags in the
Okay.
gym.
Right.
Like some that are heavy bags, some mounted on the wall,
Okay.
some
Where
strung
they have the
on.
string from the ceiling
Yes.
to the floor, where it's
and
all
then the
wiry
strings
and-
from the side to the side, and I haven't done a speed bag yet. I wonder actually if it's because I'm too short for the speed bag they have in the gym. Seriously, my coach is like 6'4", and he's always like, "You're such a small person."
Wow.
Like I'm like, eh.
No, just
Because
say
he's
he's
I'm always
freakishly
like,
tall. You're average
I
height.
know.
for-
I'm totally average height,
Yeah.
but the speed bag is very, very high.
Yeah.
So, huh? Did you say high? I'm 5'4".
That's-
I'm totally average height for
Yeah,
a female.
pretty average height.
Totally.
5'9" for me. That's pretty average.
Yeah.
I'm
For
5'7"
white
ish.
dudes. Totally.
I'm almost 5'8". Almost.
I'm almost 5'10".
If I lose weight, I actually get taller.
Weird.
Wow.
It's because my stomach pulls my back out, so
Oh,
it
that
actually
makes
slouches.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope I don't
funny.
get the old guy slouch. I'm really trying to.
Dad's done okay. Maybe
Yeah.
he'll be all right. Anyway, so we should talk about Halloween.
Okay,
You guys
first,
Oh, sorry.
I had it earmarked way back. Okay,
yeah.
we're going way back on this
Cool.
trail here, but I tried the pumpkin spice bread
Ooh.
French toast yesterday.
Nice.
How was it?
How was it?
It was awesome. It was
Yeah?
really good. Yeah, my wife
Cool.
made it, so I can't really, go into any sort of new details. But we did try one new thing, which was adding salt to the batter.
Okay.
Just a little bit of salt. I couldn't tell,
Yeah.
but I thought it was pretty good.
Right on. That makes sense because the pumpkin bread itself is so sweet. I
Yeah,
bet you need
yeah,
a little
something
salt.
to punch it up a little bit, make it not so.
Yeah,
I don't know how much
totally.
she added or what, but
Why does salt do that too? It punches up, like makes things like tomato
my
sweet.
whole thought was we're adding egg to it, and eggs and salt when you make scrambled eggs is really good.
Yeah.
So I thought that might kind of bring out the
I don't know.
egginess a
Yeah,
little too.
maybe. But salt is a pure element, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
NaCl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's a
Yeah.
mystery.
There's the dad in me.
There's the dad.
My dad's a
You
chemical
ever-
engineer, so
Yes.
he ought to know what.
You ever
the
talk to a
difference is.
salt snob?
No.
Oh man, you got some people that only eat
Only
sea
do.
salt.
Oh
Or-
yeah, we have both.
Or what's that pink salt? The Himalayan salt.
Weird.
Himalayan
Ah.
salt. It's actually
Huh.
mined. It's actually
Wow.
they actually
Oh, really?
mine it. Yeah.
Huh.
Weird.
Himalayan salt,
Interesting.
and then you got kosher
Seems like
salt.
food coloring
salt.
would give you the same thing, but I don't know. Maybe it's a different flavor.
Yeah,
Weird.
it's-
No, but I feel like those are hipsters, right?
Salt.
Yeah. My friend Rachel's the kind of
I've
person
heard-
who all her spices are in bags.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Because she doesn't
Okay.
buy
Oh,
bottles.
nice,
She gets
nice.
the spoonful
Oh,
from
sweet,
the bulk
sweet.
aisle.
Huh.
And I'm like, you
Does she have like a
hipster.
belt pouch?
She might as well. She has like a box
Huh.
that's just bags.
Right,
and it's
right.
like,
Huh.
what
She
is
tell
up with your
that
spices?
plastics.
I've heard
it's-
this story.
It's functifying her spice
Oh, I
palette.
should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the fluorocarbons that they use to make
Nice.
the bags.
Her birthday, like 2 years ago, I gave her, which was kind of like a snarky, mean gift, but I thought it was funny. I gave her empty spice bottles, and I was like, you can just write with a Sharpie on the side what's in it and put it in.
And she did.
No, she didn't. They're still in bags.
No.
She intended on doing it and put them like with it, but then never. She had a baby, so then she stopped doing everything. That's what happens when you have a baby.
Yeah.
Speaking of
they
snobs and consumables, I've heard, and I may want to do the research, or maybe you could do the research,
Okay,
or someone do the
I'll work
research.
on
But
it.
I've heard that Obama smoked pot a lot as an early teen or
did.
whatever, as a teen. But he was a real snob about it. Like,
Oh, really?
Like you had to like if you were in his circle of smoking, like he always had the good stuff or something.
Oh.
And you always had to like hold it in until the pipe came back to you. Otherwise you'd get skipped.
Weird.
So to maximize the actual,
That's
that's
funny.
just the story.
Huh.
No, this isn't like when we were
Yeah.
talking or someone
We have
totally
like
on
a
the
ring
inside.
of
but
like 8 people, and then you got
Oh,
one
well,
person that's really
yeah,
chatty.
you,
and sitting
you
there
know
with the pipe.
that, right. Yeah,
They're like, come on,
Totally.
move it
What happened to
Yeah.
Tim? Oh, he
But-
died.
Huh.
He
Oh my
died.
gosh.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know
funny.
even who to reference that who the story
Yeah,
was
if
from.
it's
but-
urban legend or real.
Yeah, who
it
knows?
could be.
But
Who knows?
I'm just
'Cause I
relaying
have-
something that I heard too.
Yeah,
so.
I have heard that when he was campaigning, he was like, yeah, I totally smoked tons of pot in
So-
college. So did everyone else.
Yeah.
And that was one of those tipping point moments where we
Yeah.
all looked around and go, oh,
Huh.
nobody cares.
Yeah, right.
Let's move on with
yeah,
life.
That's
yeah.
probably why it's
My-
getting legalized now.
Well,
At the
I
tipping
have-
point, like people who bought all of the nonsense side of it have gotten old, and all of us who were like,
the
it's
Reefer
really not
Madness
that big
kind
of a
of thing
deal.
or the Reefer Madness
Yeah.
sort of
Totally.
premise or whatever.
Yeah.
I do have sort of hopes for Obama though. So
Uh-huh.
when he was first running, he basically has gone. He started at on one sort of platform and then really went to the other. Which
Yeah.
Bill Clinton kind of did the same thing too.
It's true.
But at any rate, so my secret hope for Obama is he's really the first guy that we met when Oprah first introduced him that he might be running. He was against NAFTA. He was against the war.
Yeah.
He was against all these things that were like, although like the progressives were like, yeah. But then he started changing his tune. And actually, when he did a speech about NAFTA, and then I guess went to Canada and said, wait, no, I was just kidding. Don't worry, we're not doing anything with NAFTA.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's when I kind of first got my clue that, okay, he just wants to get into office, and he knows what's to say.
Yeah.
But my secret hope is that he would get into office, and he'd be like this total insider guy.
Yeah.
Like, he would sign into the legislation or something on, like, his deathbed of the presidency or something. Like the last night, he'll put all this stuff through that helps everybody, and he's like this savior. Close Guantanamo, get rid of the Patriot Act, get out of all these wars, defund the military, all these things that could be way cool.
Write that movie. That'd be awesome.
And then he goes out of office, and then then it's like bam,
double middle fingers to everyone.
Right.
Like,
and then
guys,
like maybe cancels all those non-signing. Like all those
executive orders and stuff.
There's things that Bush like elected not to sign. It's like I agree to this and letting it in, but I don't agree with it. Non-signing agreement.
What is the word for that? It's called unsigned man. No.
Yeah,
what is it called? I can't remember.
Right. But anyway, but he reverses all of those, and there's all these things that he could do that would just, it's like, all right, finally, he truly was for the people because he But I don't know. I guess he could do all those things now if he's really.
Because he's a lame duck anyway. Like
pretty much. Yeah.
He doesn't need re-election.
No, that's pretty much the first term is for him to get reelected.
That's
what they're doing.
Yeah.
The second term is.
Yeah.
Well, and Hillary Clinton's all over the next election too.
Hells to the yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
that's already said.
Except he's way too conservative for me. Like I consider him to be conservative.
Who? Obama.
Oh
yeah.
But.
Well, he's conservative central, but not New York.
I think he's fine, but I had when he was the nominee a little bit of a cry because I'm a crazy Hillary Clinton fan, from many years ago.
Dude, she's part of the Council on Foreign Relations. She's like she's the man. Dude.
Yeah, she is.
Totally
she is so.
She's been pretty heavily involved.
If I fought her, she would win. This is how I think of Hillary Clinton. She would box me.
So you have respect.
She
much
would
respect for her.
everything.
Okay.
She is smarter than me. She is everything about her makes me so happy. And I just want to watch her, like my favorite is that meme where she's
it's like has her versus Sarah Palin.
Hells to the yeah. I would love to watch them fight, but
with Rand Paul maybe possibly.
The meme when she's got like the sunglasses on and like this total like bitch face, and she's texting, and then it's just like funny things that she's texting. Have you seen that? It's my favorite just because she's so badass. Like I just want to watch her.
I wonder if they're gonna
be awesome and like
bring that up. What happened with her husband Bill, like when he had his indiscretions in the Oval Office, if they're going to actually bring that up against her, because she's still pretty much
like she hung out with someone who she knew was cheating on him. We don't know. We're not there.
Such an anti-feminist reason to hate her, though, because she can do what she wants. Oh, I know, but there's a lot of, especially women, who are like, they hate her because she didn't leave him, and I'm like, she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? You
think
she's like gonna go home and have a broken heart over Bill Clinton?
No.
She runs the damn world.
She did. She does have a very opportunistic sort of aspect to her in that Bill Clinton was a nobody until he got into the office, pretty much. I mean, granted, she's still who she is.
Well, not in the Democratic Party. He was pretty. I mean, they come from Ivy League backgrounds. Like they're very.
Wasn't he governor of Arkansas?
Yeah, he was governor.
Right, but would she be where she was if he hadn't got the election?
No, neither of them would.
So I'm not saying that she's opportunity put in front of talent, which.
And I consider that a plus. I think people think if she was a male.
There's a lot of luck to how she's
there wouldn't be any negative about her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not saying she's not deserving or
I know.
One person isn't, legit or anything. It's just there's luck involved, as with a lot of things where people come to prominence.
But if you look at her story, I've read a few biographies on her. I'm telling you, I'm a giant fan.
Okay.
Like she basically
your next
kicked ass.
birthday present's going to be her on a shirt.
Oh my God, I wear it every day. I just be like, Hillary, I love you.
I'm going to buy it from a neocon store.
Nice. It's going to say something mean, and I'll just draw a line through it.
So what would she do?
She's pretty liberal. She though has some moderate. I mean, like you were saying.
Blue Dog. That's
Blue Dog. There you go. Totally.
Blue Dog's
a
a neocon equivalent.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, Sorry, Scott's like, oh,
No.
politics.
No,
We were talking about sports too.
No, I don't. Sports things. I roll my eyes on that too. No, I like that. I was just thinking about Obama for a second. When you get those people that impeach Obama in their little stands outside of movie theaters, and they got him with the Hitler mustache.
Right.
And
Wasn't Jordan rocking one of those a while back too? So
who was
Jordan?
Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
Was
a few
he?
years ago, he was like in some commercial. He had a little.
Hitler
Hitler.
mustache?
Yeah. I think it's a great look myself. I wish he wouldn't have ruined that because if you look at it, it's not just a little patch of hair. It's a nice fade from the corner of the lips to the middle of the nose. It's a fade.
Yeah.
So it's like a little mini
Only
fade.
Hitler had
I
one
know,
mustache.
bastard.
I'd kill a few Jews and
so
ruins a
rock it, dude.
mustache.
And especially, I wonder if I could do one of those
Charlie Chaplin.
plus a Amish beard. There you go.
An Amish beard and a Hitler?
Amish Hitler.
An Amish
There's my next Halloween costume.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Amish
That
Hitler.
would make me laugh so hard because
Yeah.
you'd have to make the Hitler costume out of
Yeah.
like natural fabrics.
Right.
So it'd have to
So
be
you'd
like,
have like
you know,
the
undyed
Nazi
cloth
patch
and
there,
stuff.
maybe like a hick shirt with like a neckerchief, but then have like army pants with combat boots
And a pitchfork.
and
or
then
like
a pitchfork.
a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top.
Yeah,
Oh my
but
God.
Hitler, not a neo-Nazi, Hitler.
No, straight
not,
up
not
Hitler.
shaving my head or anything.
No.
Yeah.
That's a really funny hybrid Amish Hitler.
Oh, shit, that would be actually pretty.
Just came up with it now, freestyle there. So,
You can get Hugo Boss to design the.
there you go.
Yeah,
outfit.
we've given him a pass.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he
Yeah.
was a
What's
Nazi
the
and
story
he
there?
buys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Hugo Boss was
Oh.
total Nazi.
know that.
He did
Huh.
design the
Oh, see, you learn things.
Nazi uniforms, right? Yeah.
That's why they look so sharp.
Uh-huh.
So awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really got the uniforms right. I mean,
Interesting.
as much as I hate Nazis,
Okay.
hell yeah,
That's
to the
why.
uniforms.
I mean, other than the white supremacy part of it, they're collectible in the
Okay.
fashion
yeah,
world.
they're really
Interesting.
good uniforms though.
Huh.
But anyway,
Cool.
speaking
Built to
of,
last.
excuse me, that's my plague coming up. Every time I
Uh-oh.
laugh, it makes me cough.
Plague.
I know.
It only hurts when I laugh.
It does.
And
No,
I
it
laugh a
hurts
lot.
all the
Yeah.
time, I think. Halloween though. Anybody
yeah.
doing anything for Halloween?
Hmm.
I'm so not.
We basically flaked on a party last night. We were going to go out. Kanita had a really cool witch outfit. I was just going to put on devil horns and go out. And it kids me.
Yeah,
Pretty much it.
totally.
Would you fit into Peggy's concert?
Would you? Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what's
right
actually
on.
cool is this weekend people came to the concert in masks and stuff.
awesome.
That would've been really
Nice.
cool.
And the
Fun.
creepiest thing was like we've got all these lights on us, and then there's certain parts where the house light comes up, and you look out, and there was this one girl in like a black
Oh,
cloak with like
nice.
you know those porcelain white face masks, and I was like,
Yeah.
Wow.
oh my gosh,
Oh,
that's the
fun.
creepiest thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Jeez, Peg
Hey,
and your
cough,
plague.
cough interlude.
Intermission.
Oh,
I'm trying to.
I saved a
talk.
message. Alex pocket dialed me, and I saved it. It was just her coughing. It was
Oh.
just a really quick, like 3-second message. It's just. Beep. It was just like.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's
And
so
she had
funny.
something really important to get.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I feel like that's my whole life right now. The worst was that after my concert Friday, I was feeling great, and like we went out for my birthday because Friday was my birthday. I turned
Happy
35.
birthday.
Yay!
Right, recap.
And friends came, and
Oh,
we all
cool.
went out, and I
Fun.
got a hot toddy and got insta drunk.
Oh,
Because I
wow.
realized
Oh, yeah, huh.
I had been on major cough meds all day.
Yeah.
Hadn't really eaten anything and was so overexhausted. I had one hot toddy and was like, what's
Ooh.
up?
Oh,
Like I was
nice.
so blasted.
Those toddies are nothing to because it's
Oh yeah.
It
the
was,
warmer the alcohol is, the faster it absorbs into your system.
Oh,
Anyway,
yes.
it's
Huh.
like
and it like
Game
opened
on.
up all my
Okay.
bronchioles because it's so
Huh.
hot and
So,
delicious.
but you know how to ride.
What kind
that,
of hot
right?
toddy?
So you get to a level and you just kind of ride it.
I know, but
Nice. Oh, did you go over
no,
the limit?
it was
Or did you-
one drink and I was drunk,
Oh,
like
wow. Huh.
drunk.
what the flavor? What was the flavor? Of
It was like lemony and
What are they? I've
delicious.
never heard of that.
I thought there were
lemon.
like there's like a string of different flavors, like a hot
Ooh,
butter
really?
There
rum.
probably are. Oh, hot buttered rum is the
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I really miss about alcohol, though? I mean, I miss about coffee is alcohol-coffee combos.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Like
man,
an
I can't have the
Irish coffee.
Baileys and all that stuff. It's like, dang it.
Yeah.
I don't smoke blunts either, too, for that very reason.
Really?
Well, I don't want to go. I mean, there's nicotine in the wrappers, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
For my 18th birthday, my friends and I got cigars, and we sat on my friend Mike Willis's back porch in this picnic table and played poker, and everyone brought me scratch tickets for,
Oh, right on. Hey, here's nothing, or something really cool.
I know. Well, I thought it was fun because it was like, now it's legal for me, and so I had all these scratch tickets, and we played poker and smoked cigars and listened to the 4 Room soundtrack.
Nice.
I love that.
Oh, that is the best. Combustible Edison. That soundtrack is good enough for me to go, okay, who the heck did this? Because I want more. It's Combustible Edison.
Totally.
They're awesome.
It's such a good soundtrack.
Do like Spotify or Pandora. Just do a radio station based on them. You won't be disappointed. Yeah.
Totally. It was such a fun, like, low budget birthday. And
those are the best.
But we smoked cigars, and the next day I woke up and my lips were like giant, like split, swollen, huge, and I was like, "What's going on?" And my mom was like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "I don't even know." And then I told her about the cigars, and she's like, "Well, what did you just like sit there sucking on a cigar?" And I was like, "I guess." And she's like,
weird.
The wrappers of cigars are tobacco. Your lips were just absorbing all of the tobacco.
Yeah. Did you inhale the smoke?
I felt like someone
when I
had
first started
beat the
smoking,
crap
I
out
would
of
do
me.
cigars and would inhale the smoke like it was nothing.
And she was like, "Don't ever do that again. You're gonna get like especially if your
it's
lips
just a mouth thing.
reacted like
you
that."
Put it in your mouth and you
Absorb
it.
It hurt. It was the most painful thing. And she was like, "You're an idiot." And I was like,
"Oh man,
I don't
fail."
Most people who smoke cigars don't really smoke cigars.
This is what my mother told me the day after. She's like, "You're just supposed to puff a little and put it down." And I was like, "It looked cool. It was like none on a cigar."
Okay, Sarge. Jeez.
I love the smell of a cigar, though.
Me too.
Good cigar.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love the smell of cigarettes still, honestly.
Do you?
Yeah. Well,
Cigarettes.
it's aromatherapy. Coffee. Well, like again, so if like I want to smell Alex's coffee, or if I go down the coffee aisle at work, I just stop and just
isn't it
smell the coffee.
Totally.
Or if a box comes by at work that smells like coffee, I'll just sit there and smell it for a
like
while.
a tear, one tear, just
just a single tear. Yeah.
I love you. And just send you off.
But the smell. Okay, I don't like the smell of people smoking. I've gotten over that. Like if you smoke in a car or in a restaurant or something. I don't care for that.
Yeah, that's true though. That I don't mind the smell of cigarettes as much as I mind people who smoke like a day later.
Yeah, but I'm not.
You know, like those chain smokers. Their bodies smell bad, and.
But I will never. Honestly, I think people should be allowed to smoke inside and go ahead and smoke in a car. Or I'm not worried about the secondhandness of it. Because if you want to do it, that's fine. It's a big world. I can go somewhere else.
Yeah. No, in general, I'm with you on that though. With like, say for example, my lovely women's chorus.
Yeah. Well, children.
You are not allowed to if you in the backstage of the concert. God forbid you pull out hairspray because those bitches will jump on you.
Really?
Really?
Get that out of here! There are some women in here who cannot. They will not tolerate anything with a smell to it. You're not allowed to wear any.
Really?
Even sometimes people get shit over having really I use a really strong smelling shampoo and I use a spray conditioner that smells really nice, and they are so crazy about it, and I'm like, I will fight you on it. If you want to have an allergy off. No one has worse allergies than me. There's no way you are that sensitive. It really is just that you think the world revolves around you and that you don't like it. And so nobody gets to do it. And to me, that is such crazed narcissism that our world is like, for example, one of them was talking about a service dog, and she was saying that this woman had a service dog and she was holding it in her purse, and it just it was like a mouse. It was so quiet, and I was like, well, then what the fuck service is it doing?
Well,
I was like, that is not a service dog.
My mother-in-law had a service dog, and it gives them. It brings.
No, it does.
It brings them comfort,
right?
And it's a psychological thing that helps them,
and that's fine. But like,
yeah, I mean, but no, it's not leading her around the store or getting her across the street.
But our scale of what is needed by a service animal is so low now that it's you. If you go into your doctor and ask, because all of my clients have done it because they want pets. Yeah. And you can't get a pet in our thing unless it's a service animal. And they just go, I want a service animal. And they just write you a note.
You hear about the blind man that walked
you don't even have to...
the store and had to look around?
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Swung his dog above his head.
Yeah, cool. Nice. Just looking around.
Just looking around.
Nice.
Anyway.
That's weird. I had the same joke in my head.
Awesome.
Great minds think alike.
Oh, that's it? No.
No, I just think we've got this, like, weird altar of the individual where like everybody else has to stop and acknowledge each person.
It's
and
narcissism.
To me it's such crazed
it's an ego. It's just people, they're wanting, they're experiencing, or they're making their validity through what's happening to them. It's like they're it's just a selfish sort of basic behavior.
Yeah.
So. Well, and then some of those service dogs are not just super nice and stuff. There's one lady that comes into our salon who does have a little cursed dog, but it's for.
But you know what?
Seizures.
Why not?
If your dog.
Tell
when one's having a seizure.
They have dogs that stroke dogs.
Well, what do? Like, if she has a seizure,
what if they have a reaction to where the lady goes, because they can sense it before they have it, and then that person would sit down.
They could smell the chemical reaction that's happening in your body.
And who are they hurting? You know, if you want a dog, have a dog. Why do you need to go get some paper that says you can have a dog?
The paper says you can then bring it into an airplane and a doctor's office and a
so why
grocery
can't you do
store.
that anyway?
I hate it when people have their dogs in weird places.
True.
People in my office bring their dogs to work and they wander into my office and I'm like, what is this dog doing in my office?
Right, but then that should be up to the airlines to allow that or not allow that.
Yeah, but
not
if you
up
have
to
a doctor's
something
note.
federally mandated.
But the Americans with Disabilities Act says
I know, but
that if you
that's what I'm
have a
trying to get at.
disability and you have,
Yeah, so why do we need to mandate being nice to people who need to be nice to? Is my whole thing. So anyway.
Well, and that's what I think it creates that entitlement of it's no longer like, oh, that's cool that you have an epileptic dog. It's like, well, that's great, and that's a good service that it's doing then if it's doing something for that person.
Basically, there's no clear line in what is...
everybody has to accommodate everything that everybody else has, and then I'm just like...
But why get mandates involved in the government involved?
Well, I think it's because people with...
physically harming each other and not much more beyond that.
Right, I agree. But there are people who have been very severely discriminated against for their disabilities in the past, and so they create those laws that say, oh, this guy with a wheelchair needs to be able to access the world, and so, he needs to be able to get in and out of his car, and he needs to be able to live in the world, and I think that's
it would be
positive.
Nice, but I don't think it needs to be mandated, though.
Yeah.
I mean... That's my whole thing. I'm not saying he shouldn't have access. I'm just saying that an establishment shouldn't have to spend $10,000 to accommodate.
Then they won't.
Right.
They won't.
Who knows?
But then
Who knows if
that
they won't or not? It's just not something that needs to be to have a gun put to somebody's head to say you have to do this or die.
Right.
Or stop what you're doing.
They don't have handicap access in Thailand. It's pretty much you're on your own.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not against people with handicaps. What I'm saying is that a place of business should inherently just want to do that and do it.
But
and if
should is a dangerous word though, because should means something different to every person.
But it's their right to do it or not.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
But then I think there's like I don't know. I totally agree. Like there's something that I think the law was done in a positive sense of going, oh well, we need to accommodate disabilities.
Right.
Like for example, my friend Kendra who had dyslexia. And we grew up where dyslexia was barely diagnosed she wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia until we were in the 9th grade because we were on the tipping point between people knowing about it and people not knowing about it. And we were right in that age range and nobody ever gave her any extra help and she was in like the class with retarded kids in elementary school, and then in high school she figured out like, oh, I have this disability, and her mom was an educator, and so she got her all these like helps with it, and she went on to get a master's degree. But now it's like because they didn't diagnose her, they put her in the special needs class and forgot about her. Like, to me, that's like a public school system's responsibility to it. Like, now that we know about it, they need to accommodate and go, oh, well, dyslexia is a learning disability. We know how to treat it. So here's services that you can compete with the rest of the world. But then it went so far, and now it's like, to me, it's a little like
I got an uncle actually
out
who's
of
like
control.
Once you start down the slippery slope,
Well, and I think the law was made with the intention of that, where, well, you can't neglect, in a public school system, you can't neglect kids with disabilities, but it's like, it opens up Pandora's
Look at what is happening with the Patriot Act.
Oh,
all that
totally.
NSA crap that came to light. I mean,
I don't know why people are surprised about all this Edward Snowden stuff, because I was like, haven't you been paying attention for the last 10 years?
Right,
12 years.
Remember that Patriot Act?
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want, and it is not overseen by anybody.
Hey, we're going after
well, it's a big deal
It's
now.
so messed up.
Fine, actually, if you look at it. But
It was fine until we got a Democrat in office, and then.
It's just been going down since pretty much Carter.
It was fine to the media, though,
To the
until
media.
I see.
there's
I
a
see.
Democrat
Right.
overseeing it, and then
Okay.
everybody's
I'm
like,
no, dude, no, Scott.
no, it's not
no.
fine. I will fight you. I know.
I don't think it was fine at all.
No, it makes me
Matter of fact,
sad.
that's what turned my son off of the next Xbox, the Xbox One.
Oh, yeah?
Because
I've heard things about it. I don't know. It was a while ago.
There was,
are they still
I
requiring
think
you to have an internet connection to run
they
it?
backed off of that now.
Good. They were
good.
smart
So,
then, because that was
but
really
Yeah.
a deal breaker.
they're still in cahoots with the NSA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do get on, they're watching you, huh?
Yeah.
They're watching you play video games, then
Oh
they're...
no, maybe they're
NSA.
recruiting.
I don't know.
Have you guys
Totally.
read Ender's Game? Maybe it's Ender's Game. You guys need to read Ender's Game.
Read Ender's
A
Game?
movie's coming out, but don't
Right.
watch the movie yet, because the book is written by Orson Scott Card, who is LDS.
Oh, okay.
That's an aside. People hate him because he hates gays, but Ender's Game is the
Can't be
most
perfect,
bomb book. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know Orson Scott Card? He's like a sci-fi writer
I
from
might have heard of it.
Who's
Did
it?
he write a bunch of
Orson
stuff
Scott
that was
Card.
based loosely on the Book of Mormon
Yes.
story kind
Yep,
of thing? Okay.
totally.
Yeah.
But Ender's Game is like one of my all-time favorite sci-fi novels.
Nice.
And the movie that's coming out, I think, looks pretty good. But read the book first, because
Right.
if it's not good, the book is so captivating.
Oh, cool.
And it's about this like space-based society where this little kid is recruited based on his ability to play these like sort of, it's not a video game, but it's like a video game.
Kind of like The Last Starfighter.
Kind of.
Okay.
And then he's like the best at it, and then he goes on to do all these military things, and
Wow.
it has this like.
I'm surprised
really
you haven't
interesting
read
element.
Pierce Anthony.
Oh, I've read tons of Piers Anthony.
Oh yeah, have you read the Bio the Space Tyrant?
I don't remember.
Have you read the Adept series where it's about the games where the guy's got to be really good at games?
Yes.
And there's two worlds,
Uh-huh.
and Blue Adept, and all those. Those are
Yep,
good.
those are really
Those
good.
have the gaming things,
Uh-huh.
but Bio the Space Tyrant goes through this whole
Bio
life
the
of this guy,
Uh-huh.
where he goes from poverty, but it's sci-fi. But
Yeah.
he goes all the way through to him being.
I really
retired.
need to read
So,
more books. I don't read.
It's
Well,
it's
I read
fun.
a lot when I was younger, and I was into Piers Anthony from
Oh, yeah.
like, I'm sure because of you guys,
Oh, sure.
from like,
All the Zank.
yeah,
ones are-
totally.
yeah.
Whatever books they had, I would just like take them off the shelf when they were
Nice.
done and read
Oh,
them.
yeah.
But like from maybe 4th grade to 8th grade, all sci-fi,
Nice.
and then 8th grade to 10th grade, or 8th grade to 12th grade Shakespeare, and then 12th grade to like halfway through college philosophy,
Nice.
and then halfway through college I gave up on books and have been exclusively reading movies.
What do you
since then.
like for philosophy? What would you recommend? Because I've been thinking about getting into that.
I'm a big existentialist, so I like, and existentialism is fun because there are a lot of novels and plays that give existential things that are less meaty to get through than like Descartes and
Okay.
all those like really intense philosophy things. But I like Dostoevsky and Sartre and who's the guy who wrote Waiting for Godot? All of his plays are a genius.
Okay.
And Ooh, The Stranger.
So it's nonfiction philosophy. Or what?
There's a lot of fiction philosophy that's
fiction.
existentialism.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry, fiction philosophy.
Which sounds weird, but like The Stranger by Camus is this book about this guy who I'm trying to find a way to explain it without giving away the great stuff about it. But it's this fictional story about this guy who's a stranger in this land, and he's kind of wandering around and things that happen to him. But it expresses all of these philosophical ideas.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a cool mix, you know?
Sure,
but like
sort of like Ayn Rand does a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Which I actually really like some of Ayn Rand. I hate her philosophy, but I like her
that
fiction.
1984 or whatever he did.
And that's different, but Atlas Shrugged is probably
Atlas Shrugged, yeah. Who did 1984?
Ayn Rand wrote a book called Anthem that is so gorgeous. It's really small. It's maybe like 90 pages long, and it's like an allegory about individualism, which is really interesting. But I think it's like one of the most beautiful books. But, you know, her political philosophy is a little wacky to me. But
if listeners could see, I got pinwheels in my eyes right now because it's like books, words,
oh,
stuff.
God, I'm sorry.
No, that's
Next
one of my.
time you can bring up all your own subjects.
Well, we were on video games, so maybe we should go back to that.
I know.
Yeah.
But
I do like
my
comic books.
recommendations
Nice.
also, just to finish my recommendation, would be like reading No Exit by Jean-Paul Sartre.
Okay.
There's Notes from the Underground by Dostoevsky that are really interesting. I think it's by Dostoevsky. Notes from the Underground that is fascinating. And I'd say like The Stranger
by reading
Camus.
these, will I be a little more in the know about what philosophy sort of is?
Well, those are more like existentialist things.
Okay, or they're more entertained by a good story and then have like
Make
a
you think
different
about
outlook on life afterwards.
A little bit, yeah. That's more along those. But if you want like hardcore philosophy, I'll find a book for you, and I'll bring it next time.
Because I've been just getting into like the classics, like Plato and Aristotle and all those. But
I've got some recommendations. Plato is totally readable. You can read anything by Plato and get a really good understanding of how philosophy is formed.
Right. The reason why I'm kind of interested is because there's that whole Enlightenment age of what happened right before like the Constitution and stuff, and I'd really like to understand sort of what their mentality was when they put this country together.
Totally.
Like Thomas
They don't want to pay
Jefferson.
taxes, dude.
Well, no.
But the Enlightenment is a really interesting philosophical era.
Couple other things
like
too.
is it Locke? Like Locke?
Yeah, Locke is really interesting.
Yeah.
I'll find you a really good. They have these books that kind of like do chapter sequences that lead you through the history of philosophy. And they're really nice because they'll give you some excerpts from different things that give you a sense of what was going on in that era. And that seems like because if you go from Plato right to Locke, like it's a huge jump,
Right, so there's a lot of steps to go in between before you can really.
But it's interesting. I love that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah, I took a class that basically did that. It was like history of philosophy and went through, and I found it fascinating.
Yeah, if I went back to school, definitely economics, definitely philosophy.
Oh, for sure. I could see that.
If you went back to school?
When I don't know, I've just kind of saved school for when I retire. So
well, learning is a lifelong
that's
pursuit,
yeah.
and something like philosophy, you can do that on your own.
Totally,
you know.
Totally, yeah. So economics, painting, and philosophy.
Yeah. You would be one of those like ascot wearing like tweed jacket guys with a pipe. Like I'm painting about money and life and learning.
Sure.
You're French now.
Would like to join me in the hot tub later.
It's shit, but
Ooh,
who
a
cares?
lecherous philosophical economic painter.
Well, I was just thinking of the Will Ferrell character in Saturday Night Live.
Totally.
Oh, speaking of Saturday Night Live, watch the Saturday Night Live with Bruce Willis in it.
I saw it.
You did?
Yes.
Oh
my gosh, it's
where they're in
It's a
space.
recent one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's really funny.
It's pretty good. Actually,
This season's really great.
the spoiler alert, the intro to it, it had them. It had these space astronauts in space, and they were
it's so
floating
good.
around, and then they were like floated away, and they were trying to get a hold of NASA, but no one was at NASA. And
So
then
it was
they
as
had-
though the movie Gravity was taking
Yeah,
place
right.
during the
During
government
the-
shutdown.
Exactly. Yes, which I thought was just genius.
Oh my
During
God,
the
it's-
sequester.
It
was
works so
totally
perfectly.
incorporating the movie and with the what's happening
Oh my
politically.
gosh.
That it was
And
awesome.
as a plug for a person I love and admire, one of my old teachers, who I think is a beautiful, wonderful person, he's been a writer on SNL for the last like 3
was he
years.
on it?
And this season he became a
Who is
cast
he?
member.
Who
His
is
name's
he?
Mike O'Brien.
Who is?
He's one of the brand new people. I'm trying to think of one of the characters
Yeah, they
he
had.
played.
I seem to watch that. They said
There
end
would be-
feature, when they did the end featuring, there's more people
Oh.
that are that are add-ons, kind of at the end, where they
This
have
was a
the
big
main cast, and then
turnover year.
there's like the new and
A lot
and
of
also
women.
yeah,
A lot of
they
women,
actually had
yeah.
a lot of women in the original cast, just
Uh-huh.
the people that are on the show, but then
Totally.
the newbies or the whatever you call
the new
them,
school coming
the
in.
new school
Uh-huh.
coming in was like there was more people there than actually on the
There's
cast.
a plus
Totally.
side.
Yeah, there is, and she's funny. So I'm going to show you a picture, and I'll post one on our website. But
Cool.
he is one of the single funniest humans I've ever met. And I went to a couple of plays that he wrote that he did in Chicago. That he did a play that's called Mr. 10,000 Miles, and it's as though. Do you know who Reginald Denny is? He's the guy from the LA riots who got his ass kicked.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
He wrote the play as though Reginald Denny lived next door to the cast of Three's Company, and so
Whoa.
it was like Chrissy and Janet and
And then the
John
mullet
Ritter,
trucker.
and then the mullet trucker driver.
Wow.
It was so funny
That's
and
funny.
bizarre
Huh.
and weird. And he wrote one of the best sketch shows I've ever seen in my life. And he's
Cool.
like mind-blowing genius. And I like when he got the job writing, I was like, oh,
cool.
he's gonna be the
Fun.
biggest star. And
Nice.
now it's like he just took the next step, and I'm like, I cannot wait until he is like Ben Stiller size of a
fun.
star, because
cool. Nice.
and he's such a cool
That's where your
person.
agent's going to come in handy.
Oh my gosh, he's
cool.
such a great guy. And then there's a couple other people in the cast that I know from, like Vanessa Bayer, who's now a big star there because she did the Miley Cyrus thing. She was
I know
the
her.
person I
Yeah.
knew in Chicago.
Cool, right on.
Yeah, she's a genius.
So
And
this is the Peggy name drops
it
episode.
is, I know. No, but it's so it's
Just
one of those
teasing.
things where it's like
As we
people
get
that
bigger, it'd be nice to have
I've
if you can get
rubbed
these
up
people to
against,
phone in.
you know?
It'd be cool.
Oh
Get
my
some
gosh,
phoners.
that would be amazing. But they're like such talented people that I'm just like, oh, SNL is gonna get so good, because especially like his name's actually Pat. We called him POB, but Pat O'Brien is the name of registered sex offender. That's the story I heard of why he changed it to Mike. And if you Google Pat O'Brien,
Pat
serial
O'Brien is
rapist comes
he's
up.
also that guy that the TV personality.
Yeah, and maybe that's the real reason he
Eddie.
changed it, but
I don't know who that is.
it's Mike O'Brien now, but Mike is his middle name.
Pat O'Brien, he was on as one of those tabloid shows, and he
weird.
was the one that he had left a message on somebody's machine. Let's get some hookers and do some
Oh, that's
cocaine.
right.
Yeah.
He's the one that had the alcohol problem.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Didn't he do
Is it sports? I know he
I
did some
totally
kind of.
know who you're talking
it was one of
about.
those Access Hollywood
Yes,
type bullshit
I think, yeah.
Like a
shows.
current
Yeah, the
affair.
mustache.
Yeah, something like that. And he's got a
That's
really good
right.
voice.
Wait,
He's
does he
got
do? Does he
Yeah.
have a show now?
He's still relevant.
Is he? He was a little ruined for a while after that. His
He said that-
alcoholism came
yeah,
out.
once he got out of treatment, and
Yeah.
then he got all better, and now he's good again.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone should watch SNL to support my friends. And actually, I don't even know. I think the new the
feel bad I
spinoff of
don't
The
have to
Office got
Oh.
canceled, but my friend was on that too. Thomas Middleditch. He played Dwight's brother
Oh.
on the. Actually, I don't even know if
Oh,
it's
weird.
come out yet. Maybe it hasn't come out yet.
With the
But the
spinoff.
spinoff of The Office.
What's it called?
I don't know. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
that-
See, that's the thing that makes me
Is it
think it
another
got
mockumentary,
canceled.
or is it just a whole?
Yeah,
different-
but it's
okay.
them on the beet farm.
Okay.
That's the premise. But the guy on that
I
show
thought the
that I know
Mindy Show
is
was the
so
spinoff of
smart.
The Office.
Is the
but-
Mindy Show
No,
a documentary, a mockumentary?
No, it's not.
Good. Because
And
I
the
think-
Mindy Show is getting very
I think
funny.
that
Again,
that
it did.
milieu has reached its limit with the
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox show. It's like, all
Oh,
right,
is
it's
Michael
too
J.
much.
Fox doing
It's
that?
too much
Yeah.
now. It's too much.
I feel like it reached
So-
the too much with Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Well, Modern
Too.
Family
Where
does
I
it.
was-
They do it well,
Yeah.
but it's
Modern Family is geniusly written
Yeah.
and winks at the camera a little too much for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
I like Modern Family.
I do
It's
like
fine.
it too. I stick with it, and actually,
Only
like
'cause
this
I like-
last episode was so.
What's that guy's
funny.
name? the old guy that
Ed
played.
O'Neill.
Yeah, I like that guy.
I'm a giant fan of his. Anyway, we're
Ted
way
Bundy.
over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And he was like, did you ever see the movie Dutch?
Oh yeah, that's
I
a
love
great
that movie.
Yeah,
He's-
that might have been one of our
he's a-
family movies. We saw
That's
a lot.
one of those
Maybe we either
family
rented
movies.
it a lot. I don't know if we ever had it,
I
but
think we had it.
Speaking of movies,
Because I've seen it so
I
many
did spend
times.
a lot of time this last week watching some gritty reboots.
Ooh, which
yeah.
ones?
Total Recall.
Oh, very
okay,
cool.
That was
yeah.
really
Haven't
good.
seen it yet.
It's
I like it.
Does
I
it have
like-
the three-boobed lady?
It did.
Yeah.
And they were very nice.
Awesome.
They were for three.
They didn't look like clay this time.
No, they didn't. They
Because
were
the old
like-
boobs were like the one from the 80s. Her three boobs looked like Cher's boobs, as I imagine them, which is like hard plastic, like they,
Yeah.
they looked very fake.
Yeah, they looked. I didn't, and for being a PG-13 movie, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
well, as we've mentioned before, the rating system is meaningless.
Because
So-
our son's not allowed to watch rated R movies.
Uh,
But this one, it would have been a 3D PG-13. I'm like, this one was way worse than a lot of
Oh,
the rated
yeah.
R movies he just watched.
Totally.
Yeah, but it was good. It was a good movie. He didn't want to watch it
okay,
though.
what else? Willy Wonka.
I watched Star Trek
Ooh, I
again.
love
Star
the
Trek,
movie.
okay.
Yeah, I like
Cool.
that.
Alice in Wonderland, I guess.
That was it.
another reboot
I think that was.
happened.
No, Tron's on reboot. That's a
prequel.
delayed.
I actually
sequel.
like the Tron Legacy though. Like
Yeah.
I'm one of the people hated it. I was like, man.
I thought it was too much of the other world.
okay.
It really just kind of was like, wait, this is way
Yeah.
too much. Either condense the movie by a half an hour,
Yeah.
or show something else for a little bit.
Yeah,
Get relief
that's fair.
from this
Yeah.
style.
That's
It was a
totally
great
true.
style, but it was just way too much.
Yeah.
You know,
It was like-
that was my second time watching it through, and I thought it was a continuation of the first world. I didn't realize it was a new world that they had created.
Oh
So
yeah,
the
you're
first
right.
one
It's
they
not
went
a
to
prequel. It's like a very
It's a
delayed sequel.
sequel,
Yeah,
like
yeah, because
25
it's his
years.
son, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
And
forgot the plot.
they didn't show
Spoilers.
Tron aged. I don't think. How?
Oh, I
Tron?
forgot Tron was a person. Did
Tron,
they?
Tron was
was
a character from the first movie who
character
got
from the first-
corrupted.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't show him in the thing.
Yeah, because the only reason they used the word Tron was the video game
Yeah.
tie-in. They didn't have a person named Tron.
Yeah.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
So I was
like
waiting
I
for
said,
him. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do this, and then they
yeah,
did it.
no.
They showed him turn at the end though, back to Tron.
Crazy.
Back to
Any
the
other
white.
movies that you watched?
Yeah.
That's about it.
Okay, I have a three boob lady. You watch
Okay.
Mike and Molly, right?
No,
Which-
I haven't
no.
started it yet.
Oh, really? Okay, well, it's just
You
one of the
told me
Halloween,
about it.
one of the
It's in there.
Halloween costumes that the sister of Molly's, I
Okay.
forget her name. Anyway,
Uh,
but she dressed up as the three boobed
That's awesome.
lady from.
That's a really funny
It's-
idea.
Yeah, it was. She did it well though. It was
Right
pretty
on.
cool.
Wasn't she the girl from Futurama?
Oh.
No, because that's the wife of Ted Bundy off of.
Yeah, it's Katie
Katie
Seagal.
Seagal.
Yeah.
No, and she didn't have three boobs. She just had one on. Yeah.
Right. Oh, I thought you were talking about the voice. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
I watched the first 45 minutes of and will finish today a movie called The Awakening, which is available on Netflix streaming,
Huh.
which is a spooky movie. It's a really good Halloween movie for people who aren't into horror because it's a historical, it's like early 1900s. Female ghost hunter and debunker who
Oh.
writes books about, the first scene is her going into a seance
Oh.
and pointing out how they're tricking people, and she goes in and disproves ghosts, and so she gets hired by a boys boarding school because they have a supposed haunting where a boy was killed, supposedly by a ghost, and she goes in to investigate and starts debunking the ghost thing.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's getting more and more creepy, and it's
cool.
really well made, really good acting.
When did it come out?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Okay.
I had never heard of it,
Oh, cool.
but big name actors and stuff,
Yeah.
like English actors,
It might have been one of those
Really
straight
good.
to DVD or
Maybe.
video.
I highly recommend it, and I haven't even seen the ending yet, but it's
cool.
really, really well done. And the visuals, it's all desaturated, so it's not black and white, but everything's gray.
Spoiler
in it.
alert: they killed a witch.
Oh.
I have no idea. No, I haven't seen it. Sorry.
It's really cool. It's psychologically thrilling, but not horror. And Halloween, I love scary movies, but
Oh, yeah.
Halloween movies are hard to find because
Yeah.
they're all slasher stuff, which
Yeah.
is boring
well,
to me.
we watched one. If I might recommend
Yeah.
one, Paranorman.
Oh yeah, you
which
said that.
is a
I
neat,
didn't watch
it's a
it.
fun little
Right on.
cartoon.
Tim
there,
Burton.
yeah. I don't think so. No, it's a CGI animated, so I don't know.
I can't remember if is it Disney? I think it's Disney.
Probably, yeah. I enjoyed it.
Right on. I'm going to check it out. I'm about to go home to 2.5 days of nothing but
also
laying in
would
bed and getting well.
recommend the Simpsons Halloween.
From this year?
From this year,
Treehouse of
yes.
Horror.
It's a really, they did a new intro that was really cool.
Watched it.
Oh yeah?
Did you?
I can't remember.
It's like extended, maybe about 5-minute intro or something like that, but it's a really neat story.
They kind of run the gamut of all the scary.
And then can I spoil what the next episode is about?
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they spoof Dr. Seuss.
Oh, nice.
So tune in
Right
for that.
on.
So.
I will totally watch it.
The Fat in the Hat.
Cool.
I think that's what it was called.
The Fat
yeah?
in
It
the
was the
Hat.
Fat in the Hat.
Did we already talk about that? I don't know.
No, I watched it though.
Okay,
It was
cool.
pretty good.
Awesome cartoon action
Cool.
there.
Well, you have lots of movie recommendations then for this week. Yeah, thanks for listening. Like us on Facebook. Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes and tell a friend.
Yay.
So thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Huzzah!